Okay, so as nervous as I am right now on this big stage among you guys, let's start by being honest with each other. You and me. How many of you have ever found yourself nodding along to conversation, pretending to know what's happening when in fact you have no idea what's going on? Whatever whatever they said slipped from this ear to the other. Now you're left thinking, "Oh, I should probably know this, but I don't." What happens next? You go with the flow, right? And so you hope no one would notice your fake it till you make it act. Sounds familiar? Raise your hand if you've ever been there. Yeah, same, me too. I was at basketball practice when my coach Alex was explaining the drills we were about to do. She started off by explaining position, assigning position, explaining movements, then strategies. Now, of course, I was using every single last of my brain cells to comprehend what she was saying, but here's the thing. I only remembered the name of the drills because it resembled food. You know, pizza, butter, sausage. Yeah. And so at that moment, I looked around in search of someone else's bewildered expression like mine, hoping that I wasn't the only one. But the thing was, everyone else seems to get the hang of it. And at that moment, I figured that I should probably ask. But then again, if I watch a teeny tiny bit more closely, I'd probably understand it without having to ask. That would just save me some time and embarrassment. Great plan, right? And yeah, it worked. The craziest thing was that I managed to run the drills perfectly without any flaws. Yeah, it was perfect because it never happened. And then um it really never happened. And it didn't just and for context, this iceberg shows what I understood and what I said I understood. Literally, I had no idea what I was doing on the court. And the thing was, it didn't just happen once or twice, it happened multiple times. And it didn't just happen in basketball practice, too. That's when I realized I wasn't just struggling. I was hiding the fact that I did not understood. In Vietnam, we have a phrase for this, zozot. It literally translates to hiding stupidity. However, to clarify, it isn't actually about being dumb. It's about the fear of looking dumb. It's about pretending you know things because admitting you don't feels like failure. We get so caught up in acting like we have it all figured out that we limit our own growth. That brings me to this year's theme of Beyond the Blueprint. The truth is, beyond the blueprint of appearing smart lies something much, much more valuable actually learning and growing. And to do so, we have to be comfortable with not knowing, to be comfortable with not hiding our stupidity. And so it's like a cycle with the pressure to keep up, to act like we have it all figured out. Because what if we don't? What will they say about us? It's like we've been engraved with this rule on how to survive the world. Rule number one, act like you have it all figured out, always. And so we do. We nod along and hope no one else notices. But why do we do this? Why do we nod along and hope no one notices? And like, have you ever asked yourself who even wrote that rule and why are we even following it? Because the thing is, pretending doesn't actually make us smarter. We just become very, very good at acting smart. And trust me, if there was an Oscars for the best performance and I totally understood that, then I'd probably be the winning actress. And yet, so many of us stick to the script afraid to break character. Think about it. Have you ever been in a classroom where the whole room goes dead silent when the teacher asks any questions? Maybe they all understood, or maybe, just maybe, nobody wanted to be the first to admit that they didn't. It's like they had a deal together. It goes like this. If you don't ask, I won't ask. Deal? And the fear of breaking that agreement is real. Because somewhere deep down, we worry that if we raise our hand and say, I don't get it, isn't just about admitting confusion. It's like we're exposing ourselves for our own stupidity. Psychologists call this a spotlight effect, which means we tend to overestimate how much other views our mistakes. And the thing is, we exaggerated so much, thinking that everyone would judge us if we got like an answer wrong or ask a dumb question. Yet in reality, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to care. Think about when you post your picture on Instagram. Do you view it more or do your friends view it more? Exactly. And just like how we overthink how other views our mistakes, view our posts, we do the same with our mistakes in class. Let me tell you about a story of how I was betrayed. Yes, betrayed. Backstab. And the traitor here is no other than math. Yeah. So I trusted it once. I thought we had a great bond and we were on good terms. But then binomial expansion happened, integrals happened, and suddenly math wasn't my friend anymore. It was like a foreign language that I hadn't signed up for. And so sitting in Mr. Mike's math class felt like I was being thrown into a whole new different country with no translator. Yeah. And I remember telling my mom that by the time I understood the question, they were already on to the next topic. And so I was always behind. I always felt that I was the odd one out. And it felt like, when you are still spelling the ABCs, they're already talking in numbers already. And so because I felt like I was the odd one out, I did what I thought was best. I hid it. I told myself, just give it a couple lessons, and then you'll catch up. Spoiler alert, I did it. Yeah. So the thing is, I kept quiet, hoping no one would notice. And I didn't admit I was lost too, because for once, I just wanted to prove that I can do math. And I, at the same time, was also embarrassed to ask for help. And so I just prayed and prayed that Mr. Mike won't call me to the board. Or actually, when he did, I would know what to do. Yeah, so this is me keeping quiet. And so everything was fine, except I wasn't. Because the more I pretended, the more the act consumed me. Here's the thing about um, hiding your stupidity and then faking it till you make it. It only works when you're actually making progress. But when you don't, when you're stuck, pretending doesn't help. It will only make you feel more behind, more alone. And that was when I realized that in order to get better, I had to do one thing that I was most afraid of, to admit that I didn't know. And honestly, I know it is easier said than done because I'm still figuring it out myself. But for once, when I did actually admit that I didn't know, nothing bad happened. The world didn't end, I didn't die, nobody left. And so that was the moment when I actually started learning. Because, like I've repeated, beyond the blueprint of appearing smart lies something much more valuable. It's actually learning. So, to anyone who's still nodding along in conversation that they don't understand, feared of asking questions or feared of looking stupid, just ask. Because at the end of the day, the people who ask are the people who grow. Yeah. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from my TEDx speech, it's this. No, not knowing isn't failure. Pretending to know is. And if you ask me, that's a far better blueprint to follow. Thank you for listening.